Hello everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to crochet the Solar Flare Infinity Scarf. This is a lovely textured crochet infinity scarf. It is worked in rounds, so the two ends of the scarf are connected so that you can easily wrap it, fold it over, wear it as you would like. Now the scarf, it measures about 80 inches long before it is joined, and then it's about 11 inches wide. It's worked in this beautiful Polish star stitch, which we're going to learn how to work today. Today for the tutorial you're going to need a 5mm crochet hook as well as a lightweight yarn. I am using the Mandala Bonus Bundles by Lion Brand. This is a 100% acrylic yarn. It is lightweight, so you're going to see that number 3 there on the label, and there's about 1100 yards per ball. Now you're not going to use the whole ball for your cowl. I had, I guess, about one color left, or the center of my ball left when I finished it, so you're not going to quite use all of it, but of course it's easy to adjust the size, so it's good to have it here on hand. It's just simply worked in rounds. You're also going to want a copy of the free written instructions, which are on my website at richtexturescrochet.com. You'll also find several more photos there of the crochet pattern. Direct links to these items can be found in the description of this video. So thank you so much for joining me. While you're here, I invite you to subscribe, take a look around. There's lots of free crochet patterns here on this channel and stitch tutorials, and the channel is updated every single week, so don't forget to hit that notification bell. Now I mentioned our infinity scarf today is worked in rounds, so we're going to start by making a slip knot and then by working a foundation chain. Our foundation chain today is going to be 224 stitches. Now if you would like to change the length of your scarf, you're going to need a multiple of 8 stitches for that foundation chain, and today I am going to change the length just to make it easier to show here on video. So I'm actually going to only chain 48 stitches today, which is a multiple of 8, but if you would like to work the full 80 inches for the length, you're going to chain 224. And 48. So once you have your foundation chain worked, and again it's 224 if you're working the full length of this infinity scarf, you're going to join with the slip stitch into the first stitch, being careful not to twist the chain. So you'll just want to join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. And then chain 1. We're now going to be working around our foundation chain. Yours will be much longer. But you're going to start by working a half double crochet into that first chain, the same stitches joining, and then half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. Once you've worked a half double crochet in each stitch all the way around, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of the first stitch. We are always going to be working in the same direction. Next, for round 2, you're going to start by chaining 4, and this chain 4 is going to count as an extended double crochet stitch. The extended double crochet is the stitch that kind of forms the main part of this infinity scarf. You're then going to work an extended double crochet into the next stitch. To work your extended double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and drop a loop. You're then going to yarn over and pull through the first loop on your hook, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. So yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 more. That's your extended double crochet. You're then going to chain 10. And then work an extended double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1 loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. That's your first one, number 2, 3, and 4. And chain 10. You're now going to repeat that all the way around. Work an extended double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. And chain 10. All the way around until 2 stitches remain. When you come all the way around and you have 2 stitches remaining, you're going to finish off by chaining 10. And then working an extended double crochet into each of the final 2 stitches. You're then going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch, which is the top of that turning chain. That brings you to the end of round 1. Now I'm going to say it right now. As we are working, these chain loops are going to form the loops that we will then later braid. And before you get to that point though, it is going to look like a mess and just a big jumble of stitches, but it really comes together very nicely in the end. So you'll just want to hang on a little bit until you get to the end where you start braiding. So you've for round 2, you've joined with a slip stitch in the first stitch. For round 3, you're going to once again chain 4. You're then going to work 2 extended double crochet stitches into that next stitch. So both, there's 1 and 2 into the same stitch. Remember, your chain 4 will count as a stitch. You're then going to chain 10. You're going to skip the next chain 10 space and then work and the first extended double crochet. So skip the chain 10 and the extended double crochet, and you're going to work an extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So skipping the chain 10, skip the next stitch, and extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. You're then going to chain 10, skip the next extended double crochet, skip the next chain 10, and into your next stitch work 2 extended double crochet stitches, both into the same stitch. Work an extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then work 2 extended double crochet stitches into the next stitch. You're now going to repeat that all the way around. Chain 10, skip the next chain 10, skip the next extended double crochet, and work an extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 10, skip the next extended double crochet, skip the next chain 10, work 2 extended double crochets in your next stitch, both into the same stitch. Work an extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and work 2 extended double crochets into your next stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way around to your final chain 10 space. Once you come all the way around, at the end of round 3, you have 1 chain 10 space remaining and then 2 stitches. You're going to skip that next stitch. You've worked your extended double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, chain 10, skip the next stitch, skip that next chain 10 space. Into the final 2 stitches, you're going to work 2 extended double crochets into the first stitch, and then an extended double crochet into the final stitch. You will then, once I get my yarn untangled here, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your starting chain 4, which counts as a stitch, and you're all set to begin round 4. For round 4, we're going to start off by chaining 4, and then work an extended double crochet into your next stitch. Chain 10, skip the next stitch, skip your next chain 10, and then work 2 extended double crochets into each of the next 2 stitches. There's 1, 2, then 2 more into the next stitch. Chain 10, skip the next chain 10, skip the next stitch, and then work 1 extended double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 10, skip the next stitch and repeat. Skip the next chain 10, Work 2 extended double crochets into each of the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And in the next stitch, 1 and 2. Chain 10. Skip the next chain 10, skip the next stitch, and work 1 extended double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Chain 4, chain 10, skip the next stitch, skip the next chain 10 space, and repeat all the way around until you come back to the beginning of the round. At the end of round 4, you're going to skip your final chain 10, skip your next stitch, and then work an extended double crochet into each of the final 2 stitches. Then join with a slip stitch into the top of that starting chain 4. Now for round 5, you can chain 4. You're going to skip the next chain 10, and you're going to chain 10 more. So you'll have a total of 14 chains, remembering that your first 4 chains are your stitch, and then your chain 10. So chain 10, you're going to skip that next stitch, skip your chain 10, then into your next stitch, you're going to work 2 extended double crochet stitches, work 1 extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and work 2 extended double crochet stitches into the next stitch. You're then going to once again chain 10, skip the next chain 10, skip the next stitch, and then work 1 extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. We are now going to repeat that all the way around. Chain 10, skip your next stitch, skip your next chain 10 space, into your next stitch, work 2 extended double crochet stitches, work 1 extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and work 2 extended double crochets into your next stitch. Chain 10, skip the next chain 10 space, skip the next stitch, and work an extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. You're going to repeat this all the way around until you come back to that starting chain 14. At the end of round 5, when you come around and you have that chain 14 there, you're going to skip that chain 10. You're going to then work an extended double, skip the next stitch, work an extended double crochet into the next stitch. Then join with a slip stitch into the 4th chain of that starting chain 14. You're then all set to begin round 6. For round 6, you're going to start by chaining 4 and then working another extended double crochet into that same stitch as joining. Chain 10, skip the next chain 10, skip the next stitch, and into each of the next 4 stitches you're going to work 1 extended double crochet. So 1 extended double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Chain 10, skip the next stitch, skip the next chain 10, then into each of the next 2 stitches you're going to work 2 extended double crochets. 1 and 2 and 1. My yarn is pulling here. There we go. And 2. Chain 10. Skip the next chain 10, skip the next stitch, and work 1 extended double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. You're going to repeat this all the way around, an extended double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Chain 10, skip the next stitch, skip the next chain 10, and into each of your next 2 stitches work 2 extended double crochets, and then repeat all the way around until you come to your final chain 10 and final stitch. When you come all the way around at the end of round 6, you'll have your final chain 10, you've chained 10, you're then going to, into your final stitch, work 2 extended double crochet stitches, both into that final stitch, and then join with a slip stitch into the top of the starting chain 4. Now, as far as the repeats in this pattern are concerned, that is it. You're then going to go ahead and repeat rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6 for a total of 3 more times. That will bring you to the end of round 18. I'm not going to work that on camera, but I will leave you to do that. So go ahead, repeat rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6 for a total of 3 more times. Then at the end of round 18, you're going to work 1 more round of extended double crochet stitches. For round 19, you're going to chain 4 and then work an extended double crochet into the next stitch. You're then going to skip that chain 10 and work an extended double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So you may find that you need to kind of pull it a little bit tighter just to make sure that there's no gap, but working an extended double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. You're going to repeat that all the way around. Skip the next chain 10 and work an extended double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. You're going to repeat this all the way around until you come to your final chain 10 and your final 2 stitches. When you come all the way around at the end of round 19, you'll have your final chain 10. You're going to skip that chain 10 and then work 1 extended double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. You can then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. You can then remove your hook from your work. Maybe pull up the loop a little bit just so that it doesn't pull through. And if you would like, you may also simply insert a stitch marker through that loop just so that it doesn't pull through. Now, for this part, we're going to braid our loops together to give us that diamond pattern. So you're going to want to make sure all of your loops are through to the right side or that you're able to easily access them. And for this part, you may also want to have a few more stitch markers on hand. They're not absolutely necessary. I do find that they help a lot though, just to keep the stitches from pulling through unintentionally in your work. So I'm just going to pull out some of my favorite ones here. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to start down in round 2 of our cowl, and you're going to start by taking those first 2 chain loops. You're going to take the loops and you're going to cross them over, inserting your left loop through the right loop. Okay. Next, with the right loop, so the one that's on the right, you're going to take the loop that's directly above it, insert it through, and pull up. You can then take a stitch marker and just mark that loop. It's going to help it keep it from going through. You're then going to take your left loop, find the loop that's directly above it, stick it through, and pull through. You're then going to move to the next 2 loops of round 1. I'm just going to leave this one for 1 sec. You're then going to repeat that step. Cross them over, inserting your left loop through your right loop. You can do it the other way around, just make sure that you're always consistent. You're then going to take your right loop and the loop directly above it, the loop that's directly above, stick it through, and pull up. Then at this point, I just take my stitch marker and take the previous loop and my left one and just kind of hook them together so that they're not going to come undone. Then move to that left loop, pick up the loop that's directly above it, stick it through, and pull up. Move to the next set of 2 loops, left loop through my right loop, pick up the right loop directly above it, stick it through, and pull up. I'm then just going to take my stitch marker and connect and join those 2 loops with the stitch marker. Moving to the left loop, find the loop directly above it, insert, and pull through. Move to the next set of 2 loops, left loop through the right, the one directly above the right, insert, and pull up, and just loop them through your stitch marker. Moving to the other loop, the left side, insert the one directly above it through, and pull up. Continue all the way around. Oh, I joined the wrong 2. Make sure you're not skipping any of those chain loops in between. When you come all the way around, you're simply going to loop those 2 through, just so you can make sure that all of your loops kind of have a partner there in the middle. You're then going to, for step 2, continue looping them through. So going to one of the sets that you've looped and have joined together, you can remove that stitch marker briefly, take your left loop, you're going to repeat the same process now. Left loop through the right loop, then take the loop directly above it and pull through. You can mark it with your stitch marker. Head over to the right side, take the next loop, pull it up, and pull through. You're going to continue to repeat this all the way around, left through right, next loop, up, and then just use your stitch marker to keep those 2 loops together. You should start to see sort of a diamond lattice pattern come through. So continue braiding your loops all the way around and all the way up your cowl or your infinity scarf. If you are interested, I do have a tutorial that you'll see linked up in the cards at some point throughout this video on how to work this Polish star stitch in rows. I also have a tutorial here on my channel on how to make a crochet hat using this particular stitch. Such a beautiful and unique looking stitch. It's great to work with. There we are. You can kind of see it coming through here, where I'm just going to do a couple more. You'll continue to work or braid your loops all the way up to that top row, and then when you come up to the top row, you can meet me back here and I'll show you how we're going to finish it off. Once you have braided all of your loops and you have that nice diamond lattice pattern, you're then ready to work one more round. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our loop back on our hook, and you're going to chain 1. We're going to be working half double crochet stitches, and we're also going to be, as we're working these half double crochets, finishing off these top loops that are still loose here in our final round. So we're going to start round 20 by working a half double crochet into the first stitch. You're then going to work a half double crochet into the next stitch, but when you work this stitch, you're going to work it through one of the loops of our final looped round. So you can remove your stitch marker, and you're going to work one final cross. So insert your left through your right, pick up your hook, yarn over. You're going to insert your hook through the loop that's crossed over and into the next stitch, the top of the next stitch, and work your half double crochet. Now make sure when you're working this stitch that you're not skipping any of the stitches in the round in between. You want to work directly into the next stitch, just half double crochet. And I can see that I did exactly that. So I'm just going to pull back here, insert my hook through the loop, then pull it back and insert directly into the next stitch. There we go. You're then going to work a half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then half double crochet in the next stitch, but first, once again, inserting your hook through the crossed loop up top and into the next stitch, and work a half double crochet. You're then going to work a half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. You're then at your next set of crossed loops, so you can remove your stitch marker, cross your loops over, inserting left through right. You're going to work a half double crochet, inserting your hook through the loop and into your next stitch. Half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then half double crochet into the next stitch, but first inserting your hook through the loop and then into the top of the next stitch. Half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. You're going to repeat this all the way around the top of your cowl. Each time crossing those loops over one last time before working the half double crochet, inserting your hook through the loop and then into the top of the stitch to anchor it. Half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches and half double crochet, picking up that loop and into the next stitch. Then half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches all the way around the top of your work. When you come all the way around at the end of your round 20, you're going to have 2 stitches remaining. You're going to work a half double crochet into your final 2 stitches, then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. You can then go ahead, fasten off your infinity scarf and weave in all of your ends. And that is how you work the solar flare infinity scarf. So thank you so much for joining me. Once again, while you're here, don't forget to subscribe. Head over to richtexturescrochet.com and get that full free pattern. And I look forward to seeing your finished products on social media. Of course, you can always tag Rich Textures Crochet. I love to come by and admire your work. So until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.